We're here with one of the finalists for RGV Got Talent Season 1, Alyssa. There you go, Alyssa.
Either, Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
Alyssa was one of the youngest contestants on the show by quite a bit.
Not of drinking age.
No, yeah, not even drinking age. So I guess we can get into how you found out about the show.
I got a text message from my mom. I was in English class, like at high school. And my music teacher, because I go to Crescendo Music Institute. That's my music school, and I've been going there since 4th grade, and right now I'm in 12th grade. My teacher sent my mom like I think the poster that they were having auditions for the singing competition, and my mom looked into it, and so she sent it to me. And like I still remember, like the lecture was over, and so I was just filling it out during class, the audition, like my name, and so that's how I found out. My music teacher told us about it. And it was just like a shot in the dark. I wasn't expecting much. I mean, any chance to sing, I'll take it.
So you went in and you did a little mashup for your audition.
Yeah.
There was "Fly Me to the Moon" and
"Crazy" by Patsy Cline.
Yes.
And "This Is a Man's World" by James Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with that mashup?
I still remember like trying to figure out what to audition with. "Fly Me to the Moon", it's something that I usually do. I like that song. I like Frank Sinatra. And I've been told like that it's a strong song of mine. So I was like, okay, so I'll do that. And at the time, I'd been also looking at Patsy Cline, and it was like a totally different genre and style. And I was like, okay, like this will show like that I can do variety. And at high school, I joined the marching band as a singer for their marching show. And the song I was singing for them was "This Is a Man's World." So I was working at that at around the time. And so I just threw that in for a bit of belting. And it was just to show off different styles that I could do.
Okay. So you wrote that mashup yourself. Was that something you had already been working on for a while? Or you just kind of put it together for the?
I put it together for the audition.
And you went in. I mean, were you expecting to, make the show?
No, I had I admittedly had really like low expectations, because I don't think I've ever done something like this. I mean, just talent shows at school. Other than that, this was like my first kind of like getting out there. So I was excited, but I wasn't expecting too much.
And so this was kind of your theme, right? Throughout the show was mashups.
Yeah.
Which was pretty unique. I mean, nobody else did that. And it's kind of hard to do sometimes. Where did you get that idea or that thing to just do mashups? A lot of Pitch Perfect.
I don't really. I mean, I've kind of always been like musical, and in 6th grade, that's when I like put together my first mashup for the 6th grade talent show at my elementary. And at the time, it was kind of just like, oh, like I couldn't choose between these two songs, so I was like, oh, let me just do both of them. And I just transitioned into the second one. and it was something that I got really into because I just liked it's like a puzzle. It's fun for me to try to figure out how like two songs, how you can put them together or how you can make them intertwine, like go song to song, back and forth, or just like song to the next song. So I just, after that moment in sixth grade, I just kind of kept like making them and just like arranging. I'm not making them, it's like songs that already exist. So it's more like arranging and then figuring out the key. And it was just really fun for me.
Yeah, it was. I think you kind of always took people by surprise when that happened. So you're singing a song and then suddenly it just switches to this and then go back to this one. So I mean, yeah, it was real cool. It was real interesting. Then so you make the show, right? What was your kind of reaction?
I was really excited. I got the text from Jonas, and I was at home, and I told my family, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I made the show. It was just really like, it was unexpected because I didn't know. It was my first like experience in something like this, so I was happy, excited.
And are you the youngest or is Andrea younger?
I'm not sure. We're both seniors at Sherryland. So
Okay.
we're
Did
around
y'all
the
know each
same.
other?
Um, a little bit, yeah. Well, we've seen each other. I don't think we've had classes together, but we knew of each other because we've been in the same grade since like middle school.
Oh, okay. So we go to week one. Week one was more of a showcase since it was nobody was getting eliminated. And do you remember what you did?
I did a mashup of "Rolling in the Deep" by Adele and "Somebody That I Used to Know" by Gautier.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was a lot of back and forth. How long did that take to prepare?
That's one of my favorite mashups, and that's why I did it on the show. Um, I'm pretty sure I came up with that. Like, I want to say it was 2020, the summer of 2020. Like COVID had just happened. It was the summer, and like we weren't really sure, but I had a lot of free time, and I remember coming up with that. I don't recall exactly how I put it together, but like how I chose the songs. But that's one of my favorite mashups because it's one of the first ones that I did it really intertwined. That it goes like to the first song and then the second and back to the first. So I was really happy when I finished that one.
Yeah, I remember that performance. 'Cause that was before I left. That's what Jonas got upset. Everybody left. Did you leave or you stayed to the end?
I think I left because I always had to be leaving. Like I couldn't really stay after because I had school the next morning.
Yeah. That's what was tough, about this whole thing on a Sunday night. I mean, I'm in grad school right now, and I don't know if you ever saw, but I sometimes I'd have my laptop at a table.
I feel like
I was doing homework. I had homework, and then I was also working remotely at the time for a company, so it was, for engineering, and it was a lot. And then being there 5 hours and stuff,
yeah.
it was quite a bit. But then Rock Week comes. First week eliminations. What'd you do?
I chose "Still Loving You" by Scorpions.
You did okay. So I remember this, and you brought your electric guitar,
Yeah.
and that's where you said something about your parents listening
Yeah.
to that music
Yeah.
growing up.
My mom is she's the one that kind of raised me on like mostly 80s but also 70s music. I've always loved old music as as long as I can remember. And it was mostly because of my parents. My dad, he likes more like Spanish music, Mexican music, but sometimes he'll also like bring up like these old songs from the 70s. So they've raised me on that. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember that performance. It was very good. You did, yeah, the Scorpions. Did you do some type of guitar solo? I don't remember.
Yeah.
You did,
It's
right?
just a little one, like towards the beginning.
Yeah. Were you top 3 that week? I don't remember.
No, I don't think I ever got. Oh, the only time I got like top, I think like top 3 or something. It was like a judge's choice where Alice and I did like Broadway songs,
Oh,
and
okay.
I think they had like a top 4 that time.
Yeah. So how was leading up to that week? Were you kind of nervous about the song? Because now this is the first time now not doing, I guess, a mashup of just you and the guitar, right? You had a track.
Yeah,
Was that a little different?
it was. Yeah, I was probably like one of the ones that made me more nervous, cause well, it's like Rock Week, right? And I like listening to rock music, but I'm not really one to perform it. So it was already like kind of out of my comfort zone, and I'm not usually a soloist. I'm more of a rhythmic guitarist. So, but I can manage like solos. So I was like, okay, let me try it. Um so it was exciting, like using a backing track, still kind of having the guitar. But I was like probably a little more nervous about that one.
Yeah, I remember that. But no, I mean, you did great, and then you moved on. Then next week, something you're proud to be.
And I did Elton John. I'm still standing.
Why'd you pick that?
um I always get told, or like I always hear like, oh, like you're young, like when you're young you haven't like lived long enough, you haven't experienced a lot. But I mean, like you can have hardships at any age, and um I guess for me it's been a little just like a stress, and kind of like a mm, mental health, I guess. Um, so I'm just like proud to still be standing. Um, I don't know. It's a powerful thing, and like people kind of like look over that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to just believe in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you made it through. Uh, you gave a good performance. That's where me and Shanti battled with Viva Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Hated going against Shanti. And then comes acoustic night, which is it's your thing. It's your night.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I went back to my mashups. I was excited for acoustic night. And I arranged a mashup just for that night, and I did Lord Huron. It's from 13 Reasons Why.
from from the show.
It's from the show. The Night We Met by Lord Huron,
And
and
All I Want.
All I Want by Codaline.
Yeah. I was writing some notes. Then I forgot. Yeah, I mean, also this is for the other people I've had on the show. I'm sorry I didn't do as much homework as
It's okay.
I should have. But yeah, some contestants said they're like, "What'd you do that week?" And I'm like, "I don't remember." And I'm like, "I don't either." But so the acoustic night, you went back to just you and the guitar,
Yeah.
and How did that go for you?
I felt really good about it. It was like kind of back in my comfort zone after like the 2 weeks before. It was the rock night and then Proud to Be, and those were more like my first time kind of performing with a backing track, because usually it's just like I'm accompanying myself. So it was like a nice break to kind of go back into my comfort zone, and I made the mashup just for the show, and it was meant to be a bit more like sad, I guess, like two sad songs. But sometimes like acoustic music can be happy, but I like it because it has like a really nice tone for sad music.
Oh yeah, it does. So I was looking forward to acoustic night. That's where I did the original song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On that one, but man, it just sucked that I did not have with me an acoustic electric classical guitar. It would have stood on a lot better.
Yeah.
With that compared to steel string.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have it. But it still went well. We both made it through that week. Then come the battle rounds. So you went against Alice.
Yeah.
That, man, they took a long time to decide between the two of you.
We were on that stage forever.
Yes. What did you do?
The judges sent me or sent everyone like a song. Jonas sent me Take Me or Leave Me from the musical Rent.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie Rent. I don't usually do Broadway songs. I know like they chose it to kind of like match everyone, but it was out of my comfort zone again. I'd never heard of the song before, so I had to like learn it. I took the whole week and I was learning it, and I was trying to like sing with it, find a karaoke for it, but it was okay. Like I guess once I got used to the song, I felt good about it.
So the pairings were random, and everybody that I've had on the show does not think they were random at all.
I'll have to add to that.
Yeah. How does me and Shanti get paired? Yeah. How does Alex and Andre, and then you and Alice, yeah. Natalie, Andre? It was just so perfect, right? Yeah. But it was all random, even though we never saw the wheel spin. It was tough between the two of you. Ultimately, they chose Alice, right? Or did you win?
They chose me.
They chose you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Alice. But it's because I remember I was in my head, I was like, I think you won. So they did choose you.
They chose me. But
both of you were in the top for that night.
Yeah.
That's when you were both in the top. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that they were judging for so long.
Yeah.
They just could not decide.
They wanted it. They wanted to just like end it with a tie, but I think Jonas is like, no, like we have to choose.
Yeah, so. But then they give a tie to Aldo and Shanti the next week. Yeah, so breaking your own rules. But that was a great performance. You didn't win the night, right? But you were, or did you win?
No, me and Alice, we got like top, like we were like up there, I guess.
Yeah. So then the next week, so this was my last week. That's where I got eliminated. And then comes tribute night.
Oh, yeah.
So tribute night, you did something different.
Yep.
So why didn't you do Mariachi before that?
It's personally, I don't feel it to be like one of my stronger genres because I don't speak Spanish. So I've been told like, oh, you have a good voice for it. but I've just always been really insecure about like the way like my dialect, I guess, for it. I mean, it comes with practice, and at my high school, I'm in varsity mariachi, and I sing in the group. But it takes like, like I always tell my mariachi teacher, like, if you want me to sing a song, give it to me in advance so I can like start practicing it already. Cause I can't really like sing a new song on the spot. I need like time to learn the lyrics and practice how to say things.
Yeah. Who's the director there? Is it Martin? Or
um,
I know Mario goes and helps or assistant.
yeah, Mr. Gutierrez. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know these guys. I mean, we graduated the same year, 2015.
Yeah.
So
The director is Mr. Charlie Lopez.
that's right. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was with Aslan for
Yeah.
many years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sherryland became a very good program very shortly because they didn't have one before. So when did you start mariachi? Just in high school, or was it something you did before?
No, the first time I joined the class in 7th grade, but then I had a scheduling conflict, like with like school and classes, and so I had to quit mariachi or drop the class my 7th grade year. But I joined again in 8th grade, 8th grade until now that I'm in 12th grade. I've been doing mariachi 5 years just at school. But it's been a lot. Yeah.
It's very different, right? I forget who was having the conversation with. It might have been Alex or Jake, but I had a vocal coach for a couple years, but this isn't until college. I didn't start singing really until I was 18. I'm 25 now. But around when I turned 20 or 21 or something like that, I got a vocal coach. His name was Antonio Briseño. And um, so a lot of my foundation is from classical and mariachi and singing, which is why I kind of, that's all I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so different, pop and rock
It's so
and
different.
country, like certain vowels or the shape of your mouth and everything is different. And if you you go into mariachi singing like a pop artist, they're gonna slap you because
Yeah.
it's wrong if you
Yeah.
don't do it. And so yeah, it's harder now for me to sing like pop music or even English music because just for years that's all I did, and I played in a group for many years also in Austin. So do you have that difficulty transitioning when you
Yeah.
sing in the mariachi in high school?
Because it's really different styles. When I joined mariachi in middle school, all I was thinking, like, I don't know, I was like 13. I was just like, I get to play guitar every day for a class. Like, yeah, like that's awesome. But then, like, just like a weekend, it was like, dang it, this is really different. Because even just for like guitar, like the strumming, it's such a different style. But I grew to love it. And then once I started doing vocals, it was also just totally different style, but I adjusted, and it just takes practice. I don't hate mariachi music. I've grown to love it a lot. It's just I'm just really insecure with the way the way I speak it and say words. But yeah.
Well, for tribute night, you did name and songs escaping me now.
Cielo Rojo.
Cielo Rojo, right? Um, and you came in the was it like a black dress, and everything,
Yeah.
and a whole show. Um, why'd you choose that for tribute night?
I wanted to do something different, or like each week, like throughout the whole competition, my goal was always to show something different that I could do, like to show like my variety. And I hadn't sung in Spanish yet on the competition, and so I was like, okay, like I think it's time. And I believe that week, coming up to that Sunday, I was out of town for like half of the week because of a marching band competition. So to kind of help myself out, like not to stress too much, I wanted to choose something that I could feel solid about, because I had just gotten back into like McAllen Mission like 2 hours before the show started. Because we'd been in, I don't even remember where we went. Odessa.
Oh, Odessa.
Texas, yeah. So I was out of town for the competition there, and I just gotten back. But Cielo Rojo, I've been singing that one maybe all of high school, I think, for different vocal competitions and like mariachi, like at school. I've even used Cielo Rojo as my audition song for mariachi, because every year at school, like you have to audition to, like JV varsity. So I felt strong. I felt good about the song because I'd been singing it. So I've had years to practice that one. So like, but not my singing doesn't always sound like that. I've just had years to practice that one.
Oh, they make you audition in Sherryland. They're taking that Roma approach. 'Cause I went to Nikki Row. All right, so it was right next to Sherryland on Ware Road. And yeah, that was the crazy thing that I saw with other high schools. Well, mostly Roma, Rio, and Gruya. They would audition every year. And I was in high school mariachi also, and it was not, there's no auditions. They're like, you can play? Okay, join the mariachi. Now it's gotten better. Now there's a lot more students, and now they're a little bit more, I guess, like strict on who they're gonna have in varsity and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's auditions. It's just whoever the director's like, oh yeah, you can play. And then you do Cielo Rojo at tribute night, and that kind of shocked everybody.
Yeah.
Because you hadn't done anything like that. And you come. Did you start off the stage? I don't remember if you did.
I did.
Yeah, walk in, made your whole grand entrance, and you did it very well. Your falsetto, is that something you've been doing for a while?
Yeah. I've been my falsetto. It's something that like I could do. Like no one ever taught me how to do it. It's just over the years people have helped me like make it better and more solid. But like I've been able to falsetto, and I've just been making it better over the years.
Can you hit the whistle tones?
No.
Ariana
I've tried,
notes.
and everyone in my house tells me to stop.
Then we have power ballads after that. How did power ballads go for you? I was not there that week.
Yeah. I did power ballads. We spent a long time trying to figure out what to do for power ballads, for like trying to choose a song to do. 'Cause also throughout the competition, my mom, she was the one that would help me choose like the song to do for the week. And then I'd be the one, like I'd look for the karaoke, I'd like arrange whatever performance I was gonna do. But my mom's, she's my right hand man. She always like helps me out with this stuff. We spent a long time trying to find out what song to do, and we ended up choosing I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a tough song.
Yeah.
Did you already know the song?
Yeah, I've been trying to sing it
Trying to.
for like maybe 2 years. But I really like that song. It's one of my favorite of hers.
And how'd it go at that week?
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't my strongest performance. And it bums me out. I feel like I've sung the song better, but just that night, it just wasn't my night. Even now, like I can't listen to my recording because my mom has all my recordings from every week, and then she'll come across that one and I'll tell her like, no, turn it off. It wasn't bad. It was just it wasn't good.
But you made it through.
Yeah.
And you weren't the bottom 3 that week or anything, right?
No.
Yeah, this is the week Jakey got eliminated for Power Ballads.
Yeah.
And that's where they started having contestants vote each other off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Did you ever have to do that? Did you have to vote?
No, I don't think so. I remember having a heart attack, but no.
Yeah, that was wild. We started doing that.
Yeah.
After Power Ballads, was it Country Night?
I think so.
I don't remember. I mean, you were there.
Remember.
But I believe it was Country Night. Because that's when they brought back a couple contestants that had been eliminated. That's when they brought Belinda and Iran.
Yeah.
So Country Night, what did you do Country Night?
I did Mama's Broken Heart by Miranda Lambert.
Oh, okay. You didn't do any mashup?
No. I was almost that was my goal. I was thinking like, okay, country mashup, you know.
Thought you would have done like some Kelly Clarkson or something.
That was the original plan. Like I was gonna start like arranging something, but it's another. My dad, he's the one that kind of like raised me with country. I remember like when I was younger, I had that like country era where that's all I listened to. And Mama's Broken Heart by Miranda Lambert is one of my favorites. So in the end, I just ended up choosing that one. Because at first I was looking for like something to mash it up with. But I remember like I played it for my mom and she was like, that's it. Like you don't need like to add or take away. Like it's good. And I was like, okay, we'll stick with that. That week, I got sick. And I was so sick that I missed one day of school. I will, I don't know if this is like bad, but like if I'm sick, I'll still like go to school. Because I'm very like, I don't know, I'm very like school. So if I'm missing school because I'm sick, that says something about how sick I'm feeling. So going into country night, I was nervous. Not because of the song. The song I felt really good about, but just because I wasn't sure how I was going to sound singing it. Listening to the recording, it sounds fine. I think after I finish, I just like coughed a bit or a lot, but that's probably all you could tell of me being sick.
But the performance then, it went good.
Yeah.
I mean, you made it through, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting closer to the end. We go to judges pick because that's where they made you pick from that bucket thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
What did you get?
I got Heaven by Callum Scott.
Was that the first one that you picked, or was that like a second?
It was the first one.
And you stuck with it?
I did not know the song.
But you still kept it?
I was scared because they said there was like Spanish songs, so I was like, if I get a Spanish song, I don't know how well that's gonna go. So, I'm familiar with Callum Scott as an artist. He has some um, really nice like ballad music type, pop music. So I saw his name. I saw the song. I was like, I don't know what song this is, but I trusted the artist enough, and I was like, okay, like hopefully this turns out fine. And that night that we picked the songs from the bucket, I listened to Heaven by Calum Scott on the way home, and I was like, okay, it was fine because I ended up really liking the song. It was just like a little piano ballad, and it was really nice, and I was like, okay, I'm glad I picked it.
So you found a track, or did you do it?
No, I I was practicing with a karaoke for the longest time, but in the end, I played it on piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've been playing piano for a while?
Yeah. Um, Depends how you want to interpret playing piano. um, at our house, um, we had this old like keyboard. It's not a piano. It's like just like a keyboard, and the keys are labeled like with the notes. And that's how I learned. Like, oh, like a C chord. Okay, my thumb has to be on the C.
Did you take that piano to Rockwell with the
No.
labels?
I did. Eventually, a few Christmases ago, my parents gifted me a new keyboard because by that time I had already learned. I didn't need my keys labeled anymore. um, my music teacher, Mr. Juan Fuentes from Crescendo, um, I take guitar lessons with him, but during the pandemic, because we were doing it virtual, we did a few piano lessons because that's something else he also teaches. So I already had like the basics. Like I could play an Ed Sheeran song for you on the keyboard and I'd be able to like figure it out. But he helped me more with like different patterns and different shapes on the piano. Um, so I was nervous because I don't consider piano to be a strong suit of mine. I'm more like guitar. You know, that guitar's my thing. Um, I almost did the song on guitar. I think I remember I explained it on that night. The judges asked me what the hardest part was, and I told them it was like trying to figure out how to do the song because I'd been practicing with the karaoke, and then the karaoke wasn't really making my voice flattering because it wasn't in a good key because a guy sings the song originally. So then I was trying it on guitar, and surprisingly, like my mom said like, oh, it's nice, like do it on guitar. But I just had this instinct where I didn't like the way it sounded, like actually, me singing the song on guitar. So then I pull out the piano and I'm nervous because I don't know, like I just don't consider myself to be a piano person. So eventually like I learned it on piano and then I was able to sing it and play it at the same time. And I was like, I like the way this sounds. And this is the way that I want to do it. So that was probably like, I guess the big thing that week is like that I was going to do a piano, which was also a new thing for the judges, I guess.
So you surprised them there.
Yeah.
You wowed them. And so so there was also a week break between the country night and the judges pick, right?
Yes.
Because those are on Halloween. and there was no show for Halloween. So it was 2 weeks, I guess, that you had to prepare for that song. And then, so you do it, and it goes well.
Yeah. And at this point, or like, I guess maybe around like country night or maybe the tribute night, I'm kind of like, why am I still here? Like, I was not expecting to make it this far. Like, by the judges pick night where I did the Callum Scott, I was already telling my family, like, okay, like it's okay if I go, like I'm fine. Like, I made it much further than I thought I would, so I was kind of I was already in that mindset, like it's okay if I get eliminated, like it's time. I guess.
But you didn't.
No.
And you kept going.
Yeah.
And now, so we're at the final 2 weeks. Before we get to the final 2 weeks, how was school? Still got those straight A's?
Yeah, it was still good.
Were you starting to feel it by this point, though?
Yeah, I had gotten a little more invested each week into the competition. It was fun and exciting and different for me. Trying to figure out, like, well, what am I gonna do? What song am I gonna do? What am I gonna wear? My mom and I had fun with that part. And for a few of the weeks, we'd go shopping, try to find like just a little something, like nothing too expensive, but just like a little. I think for Elton John week, I went a little bit out there. My mom, we bought a shirt and we bought a boa, and she put feathers on the shirt.
I remember
she made that for me.
Yeah, I remember seeing the feathers.
No, that shirt did not come with feathers. She glued it on. So, like at this point, it's been really fun. I'm really glad that I made it in. I'd been having fun with my parents, like going every night, and then like, you know, like we're watching all the performances. It was a really good experience. Again, further than I thought. I was kind of freaking out, like I'm still here.
And by this point, Andrea had been eliminated.
Yeah, I don't remember what week, but
I think it was country night.
Maybe.
But then that means you were now the youngest.
Yeah.
By quite a bit, probably. I don't remember who else.
Yeah.
But so then we go to semifinals, which is Night at the Movies.
Right.
What'd you do?
I Put a Spell on You by Annie Lennox.
Really? Why?
I don't know. That was more of like an instinct decision more than a calculated, thought through. Like all of the weeks, it'd been very like, oh, I'm gonna do this because it'll show off this, or like, oh, like I thought through my song choice every week, and for this one, we had like a list of options, and I just told my mom, I want to do Spell on You. That one, like, I don't know, like something just, I just really wanted to do that one. So I did it. For the movie, I think I said Hocus Pocus, but originally the Annie Lennox version is for the Shades of Grey movies, which I've never seen.
Neither have I. I've actually never seen them, so.
Yeah.
But you know it's in there somehow.
Yeah.
So you get was it with a track?
Yes, it was. just me, the mic stand, and the backing track.
There's 10 left at this point.
Yeah.
Half are going to be eliminated that night. Everybody knew that, right? Only top 5 go on.
And that night, for some strange reason, I was the first performance. I remember like they released the list of the order for that night, and my name was first, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I think like the earliest I've been was third, like the third to perform. So being the first one to like open the show, it like added to my nervousness.
What were you feeling leading to that week, leading to that Sunday?
Whatever happens, happens. Of course, I mean, I think like everyone, you want to make it into finals. Sometimes I can be a bit of a realist. So I was telling my parents like, well, it's been a fun journey and I've had a blast, and this is probably my final show, so
That sounds more like a pessimist than a
I was excited for the song. I guess like the more that I practiced, I Put a Spell on You, the more confident I felt about it. And I gotta wear I don't know if it's maybe I don't know. I wore a pantsuit for it, and I've always wanted to wear a pantsuit. I don't know. It's just like a little me thing. So that was really nice. It was like, I guess, a little boost of confidence for me. I was like, I'm singing an awesome song and I'm wearing like something I've always wanted to wear. So leading up to it, I was content. I was like, whatever happens, happens, but I'm going to go out with a good show, at least.
So you were the first to get up there. So then you had to watch all 9 other people perform and wait to the end. Results coming out. So how early did you find out that you made it to the finals?
It was down to me and Alice at the end. 'Cause they had all of us go to the stage, and then I believe they were just calling people like so and so, you've made it to the finals, and then so and so, sorry, but we're not going to see you at finals. Like they were doing it very theatrical, very and so everyone else had been called, and it was just me and Alice sitting on the edge of the stage. And one of us was going to make it, and then one of us was not going to make it. So
What'd you think in your head? You're like, oh, okay, this is it. I'm done.
Yeah. I didn't think I could beat Alice. It was nerve-wracking. And maybe it's just like because the suspense, but I feel like they took a long time to announce that final result. And I think they said Alice's name, and then they said that she wasn't gonna be going to finals. And I was so nervous. I don't know if there was just like so much going on in my head. I heard Alice, but then I didn't hear whether she made it or not. So I was everyone was clapping and celebrating, and I'm kind of there like, I don't know if I made it or not. That was my fault. I just didn't hear what they said. But yeah, there was a few seconds of, I don't know if I made it. And then I think they said, and that means, Alyssa, you made it. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I stayed with Alice. Because that was a night, I mean, it was full of emotions for the contestants and the judges. The judges were not happy to do that. Get rid of 5 people. But I made it through somehow.
You did. And Alex had a pretty similar thing, but he was extremely drunk by this point. So he said he doesn't remember them calling his name that he made it. And then he's like, "Oh, I made it." But he was so upset because he already knew by that point he wasn't going to be able to go to the final.
Yeah.
And then that's where Alice made it.
She came back, yeah.
Yeah, because so Alex was not able to continue.
Mm-hmm.
So both of you ended up making it.
Yeah. The suspense was for nothing.
So your top 5. Now, by this point, it was around mid-November.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things going on, I'm sure. I mean, soccer? You play soccer also?
Yeah.
The season already started?
It started in like December.
In December.
So during the competition, it was more marching band and mariachi. So I had a lot of music things going on at the time, I guess.
Yeah, you had the marching band. Did you all go to state?
No.
No?
State year, like it's like every other year.
Oh, that's right.
Every
That's
2
right.
years.
Yeah, it's every 2 years. I didn't do bad enough. Oh yeah, I forget that was a thing. It's not every year, but so, I mean, are you doing other stuff also, like any academic things, like debate or something, or UIL?
No, I'm just in a few clubs. Like I'm in NHS, National Honor Society. I'm in RGV Lead. It's just like a school club. My main thing, I guess, is mariachi. And then once this season starts, soccer. It's like soccer and mariachi and just balancing the two.
So the week of the finals happened to also be Mariachi Extravaganza.
Yes.
And I know that very well because I've been going to Extravaganza since 2013.
Oh, wow.
Probably, yeah. Since I think the first time I was probably a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And I've gone every single year, except 2020 we didn't have a in-person one. And so I went to one this year because this is the second year ever that Nikki Rowe, the high school I went to, performed.
Oh, wow.
At Extravaganza. Last year was the first time they'd ever done it. So I'm there, and I see you there.
Yeah.
And you acted like you didn't know me.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, so this is what I'm right. This is the vocal competition. I see you. You're in a traje, and I was just walking. I was like, "Hey, I know that girl." And then I was like, "Go," and I was like, "Hey, listen." You're like, "Hi," and then I was like, "You're in the finals, right?" You're like, "Huh?" And I was like, "For RGV Got Talent." She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay," and then you just leave.
I'm not used to getting recognized in my traje. I'm used to like having to convince people that it's me. Because I don't know if I mean, I'm sure you'd get like, especially for girls, I guess, like the difference between no traje and traje. It's like a completely different outfit. My head was in a lot of different, it was everywhere. Like whenever we're on trips, it's crazy. I did not recognize you until after you left, and I was like, oh, like he's from RGV Got Talent. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And I was like, this girl has no idea who I am. So I just left.
I'm so sorry.
And I just cried the rest of the time there. was a sad day. But so were you in your vocal finalist, or were you just competing with Sherry Lander?
No, we were accompanying Carlos, one of our mariachi players. He was in the vocal competition. But Sherryland, we always like to play for our vocalists, like instead of them using a backing track. So like, you know, we join in the fun. I think we were just waiting for like when you saw me, I think we were like taking a seat so we could wait for the results. I don't remember. I fell asleep. So after you said hi to me, I dozed off while they were giving the. It was a long day. But I love mariachi. I know I sound like, but like the trips can be really fun because I don't think a lot of like high school kids get to travel so much in like organizations like that. But for mariachi, we always have a few trips for competitions. But yeah.
Yeah, I just still hung up that you didn't know who I was, but that's okay, right? We're here. Let's move on.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So you're just laughing about it. That was about 3 days before the finals, though, because that was on a Friday.
Yeah.
And then when did y'all get back? On Friday or on Saturday?
I think we got back Saturday.
So, how were you prepared? So, because I know, well, this year, Extravaganza was earlier. Mm-hmm. They did it before Thanksgiving, and they also did it earlier in the week. Usually, it's like first week of December. And did y'all compete for the group competition or no?
Yeah, we competed.
How did you have time to prepare for the finale?
I did. So the Sunday I learned that I made it to the finals. So now I need to choose something. There wasn't a theme. We could choose whatever. So I had Monday and Tuesday. It was a balance of mariachi because we're preparing for competition. We're like literally about to take off. And then I would get home and then I'd be singing a bunch of different songs with karaoke's, trying to figure out like what to do for the RGV Got Talent. I don't think I decided until like Wednesday or Thursday that I was going to do Adele for competition. And the most that I was able to do is that in the hotel room, I think either on Thursday or Friday, I grabbed my mariachi guitar and I was coming up with an Adele mashup that I would do before the big song. That's kind of what I had in my head. It was kind of based off for my quince. I did a little show because like we had a quince, but like kind of like towards the end or in the middle, I performed for all my guests, and I did Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. And before like I went into that song, I did like a Queen mashup. And then I went into Bohemian Rhapsody. So I wanted something grand, something like that. So I was basing it off that performance. I mean, it ended up being pretty similar, like a little Adele mashup on the piano, and then I went into the big song. So that's kind of all I had in my head. I didn't know what the big song was going to be. And I didn't know what the mashup was going to be. I was able to kind of come up with the mashup in the hotel on my guitar. Just like kind of Adele's greatest hits, like putting them together. And once I got home on Saturday, I was tired, but I still had to power through and practice for the finals. That was the next day. But I was probably, that made me nervous, not having as much time as I usually do. Because I was telling myself, like, oh, I can, like, practice at the hotel, but we did not have a lot of time. It felt like we were just running around because we left on Wednesday. We perform at the Riverwalk, I think either on Wednesday or Thursday. And then we had the actual competition on Thursday, and then the vocal competition on Friday. So, and then workshops with like mariachi instructors. So it can get busy, and I was just hoping that somewhere in there I was going to have a chance to get ready for the RGV Got Talent finals. And I managed. I came up with the little mashup, but I didn't get to practice the big song, I guess, until I got home. So that was just like a day and a half.
You also had to sing with one of the judges, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what song was that?
Jonas. I chose Jonas Mars, and we did one by U2. U2 featuring Mary Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you already know that song?
I was a little bit familiar with it. It took me a while to learn the lyrics. So I kind of had to learn it, but I was a little bit familiar with it.
So you get to the final. All right. This is the last performance.
Yeah.
There's only 5 of you left. How tired were you at this point? And this is also a weekend before Thanksgiving, so you had that week off, right?
Yeah. It was like, I think I was kind of back to like, whatever happens, happens. But I'm going to end it on a really good show. And then I can sleep for a week or whatever. Because I had Thanksgiving break.
And you go in there and you see a giant box. And, and then the whole mariachi shows up and...
Yeah.
Oh. They're going all out.
Yeah, everyone was going... I think that's what made me scared, because all Jonas had been saying was, like, go all out. Like, make it, like, a really big show. And I had a lot of things in mind for the finals. I just never really thought about it, because I mean, like, at the time, I thought it was, like, a waste, because I didn't think I was going to make it to finals. So I didn't want to do, like, wishful thinking.
Andre, when that episode releases, if you listen to it, he started building that box like a month before the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been... And then he was like, man, I really hope I make the finale, because I spent a lot of money on this. A lot of time. Yeah. But what did you come in? What'd you wear?
I wore, it was just like a mirror ball, kind of like a sparkly top with a skirt and knee-high boots. But I was wearing like a jacket over it. And then I took off my jacket during the performance. I was nervous. Eventually, I chose Adele, a mashup of Someone Like You and Rolling in the Deep, the Glee version. That's what I used for the big song, I guess. No. No. It was Rumor Has It and Someone Like You. I said Rolling in the Deep. I love the television series Glee, and I had liked that mashup. And so when I was trying to find an Adele song to do, I wanted to do Rumor Has It by Adele. But I remember, like, I was telling my mom, Glee has a version, and it's like a mashup, you know. And so that's the one that I ended up doing.
How'd it go at the finale?
It was really cool. I was really happy, and I think I even like danced a little bit while I was singing. I went all out. It was kind of like for years I will always like, I'll just sing in my house and I'll like pretend that I'm being filmed. So it's kind of like putting all of the years I've been doing that into one night. But I was really happy with the song that I chose, and I was just really like, it's been a journey. Whatever happens, happens. But I'm going to end it with Big Bang. And some of my extended family was there, and teachers from Crescendo, my music school. They also went to see me at the finals.
And you did. You got 4th place?
4th place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm very, very happy with, because, I mean, I was I know I've said it, but I wasn't expecting to make it to finals or anything. Like, I just genuinely, I mean, I didn't think it was in the cards for me. So 4th place, I'm really happy. I was really proud.
Yeah, there was a lot. A lot of singers, a lot of different types of talent. You made it to the top, to the finale, and I mean, you deserve to be there. You're very talented.
Thank you.
Very good singer. So what did you learn from the show? About yourself, about performing, anything?
Just that I have a lot more to offer, because like just the different themes, just like wanting to show something different each week, because I'm very used to just singing and playing guitar. Like, that's kind of all I do. So it's kind of proving to myself that I can do more musically, like with my voice, with the instruments, with arranging. So it was a wake-up call, I guess, that I've been holding back, and this was able to show me that, like, I have a lot more to offer.
Yeah, you do. So, do you want to do a song?
Sure.
What do you want to do?
I'll do Fly Me to the Moon. I think I can do that one.
Okay, got it. You won't be eliminated. Probably. All right, so this is Alyssa with Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, please be true.
in the studio. Um, sometimes I mess with the contestants and I'll play this. But I finally figured out which button it is this album. Should label these. Where did this come from? Where did the music come from? Where did the
Oh my gosh. This is what I tell everyone. I get that question a lot. There's a video. Whenever we're going through like albums, video and photos on computers, there's this video of me standing on a chair. I'm at home. I'm like maybe 2 years old. Standing on a chair, holding a plastic microphone and singing to my parents. Or like trying to. That's what I was trying to do. I did not know how to speak yet. So I was just blabbering nonsense to my parents. And I mean, I remember seeing that video. And maybe just the music was there. And it was just like growing it, building it, I guess.
How old were you in the video?
Maybe like 2, 2 years old.
Like 2. Is there other people in your family that play?
My grandfather, he played guitar at church. He played guitar and he sang. And he played piano.
Okay, but neither your parents or anything?
My mom, she was in marching band.
Oh.
She played flute. She played flute.
What do you play? I'm going to guess just by looking at you. Saxophone.
I don't play.
You play nothing in band?
I almost did marching band, and I was going to do French horn, but I chose mariachi over marching band.
Somebody else plays French horn. That was on the show. They said they did band in high school. Man, who was it? Might have been Juan.
Oh.
Either Juan or Alex. Yeah, no, it was Juan. Yeah, Juan played. Because he was like, yeah, I played band. And he said the only reason he played the French horn was because he started in middle school and he was with a friend of his and he was like, they wanted to do it, but always be together. Yeah. So they're like, let's choose something that nobody else is going to play. Because he said he played French horn. And I was like, why? Why? He's like, because nobody else wanted to play.
That's almost what I did. My friend, she wanted to play French horn. So I also put French horn. But then I just didn't join. I chose guitar over the French horn, mariachi.
When did you start playing? Was guitar your first instrument?
Yes. At Ogarza Elementary, that was the first elementary I went to. They had a talent show every year, and I played "You Are My Sunshine" on guitar for a talent show in the first grade, and that was my first experience playing guitar. I think either my uncle helped me out, like learning the chords, and somewhere in there we also I had one lesson with a guy. And that was kind of where I started. I didn't start going to crescendo until 4th grade, to where I was it was kind of like my parents, are you really serious about music? I was like, yeah. Okay, we'll pay to have lessons. But for first, second, for like most of elementary, I did the talent show playing guitar. That was like my first experience with it.
So do you remember your first performance where you sang in front of people?
If like let's not count talent shows, I guess. It was probably at Crescendo, because for the music school we always have recitals kind of every few months. And at first I joined just playing guitar. And so me and this other kid, we played Imagine by John Lennon just on the guitar. I did like the chords, and he was doing like the melody on the guitar, and I was doing the chords. And that was like the first show I did, I guess. But after that, I started getting like I wanted to like include my vocals with the guitar, and I did "Rolling in the Deep" by Adele.
Right, that was your first.
That was my first singing performance, I guess, at a Crescendo recital.
What's that? Is that the performance?
That's my first grade performance on the show.
How did that go?
Which one?
When you sang "Rolling in the Deep."
It was good.
You didn't cry, didn't freak out.
No. Well, at my first few Crescendo recitals, like right before I would get on stage, I would get like the most nervous. I would get like super nervous, and then I'd get on stage and I'd just like do my thing, and once I'm on stage, I don't usually get nervous. And then after like a few more years, like when I was on the side of the stage, I wasn't nervous anymore. I've never experienced like stage fright, or like, oh, there's so many people. I don't know. I'm just weird. I guess it's kind of, I always just get on stage and I do my thing. Like, whether it's just like my parents on the couch, or an auditorium full of kids, or like a crowd of people.
So, I had a guest. This is like a year ago, though. He told me about his first performance. So funny. I'm laughing so much. It was so sad. He was probably like in 7th grade or something. Mariachi. He was from Rio Grande City. He sang Árboles de la Barranca. And he started crying in front of everybody because he was singing it, and he was so nervous. He was so scared that he did the first verse, and then he jumped to the end.
Oh no.
And then he realized that he messed up. And he started crying, but he kept singing while he was
Oh my gosh.
But now he's a very good musician, trumpet player, singer. He was actually in that video. If I don't know if you've ever seen, what is that girl's name? But it was that thing that went viral where she says Christmas really weird.
Oh, Camila Cabello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a mariachi playing.
Yeah.
He's in the.
Really?
He's a trumpet player.
Wow.
He's from Rio Grande City. Wow. Played with that salon for a bit and stuff. But yeah, you see him there in the video. And I had him on the show, and just how far he went from that first performance. Still remembers that first performance. So he was there crying in front of everybody, and now became really huge. Yeah. So then what is it that you want to do with music? Do you want to study music? I mean, you're a senior now, right?
Yeah, I'm about to graduate.
I mean, colleges. Are you going to college?
Yeah. It's not optional for me. um, I'm just looking to go into college, like somewhere up north, and still in Texas. Stay in Texas. And I've been looking into a music degree. I'm still in between whether I'm gonna major in music or psychology. Like it's gonna be one of those two. Um, but I just for music, as much as I'd like to be like a performer, I'd be really happy to even be like a music producer or like work in the studio or a songwriter. I think I have like a little bit of experience in all of that because I do a lot of songwriting for my original songs, and I've had a little bit of experience with like GarageBand, like on my phone.
Yeah.
And that's all the producing experience I have.
That's what all the major producers for, like, you know, Kanye and stuff, they use GarageBand. They don't use GarageBand. But there's like so I went to Texas State for my undergrad, and I minored in music, but there's a SRT program that's sound recording technology
Oh.
that they have there. I don't know if you looked into that, but it's very good. It's very hard to get into. A lot of people want to do it. I mean, a lot of people like to produce and stuff. So you're looking to still stay in Texas though, keep performing.
Yeah, just for college. After college, I'm I mean, I'll go wherever the wind takes me. Like I still feel young.
Your parents are gonna let you go? Like, yeah, get out.
Yeah. Well, my mom always says she's gonna follow me to college and to wherever I go. But I'd love, even if like I do end up like majoring in psychology and I'm a counselor, I would still love to do music on the side. But I'd even love more to do music as like my main thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of different ideas, different plans, but I'm 17. So
You got some time, right?
yeah,
Maybe
a little bit.
a little bit of time, like 3 months. Do you see yourself recording an album, releasing it, putting your name out there, and trying to get in shows and stuff?
I would love to do that. It's I mean, I guess I've always been like afraid to talk about it or like to admit it, but I mean, that's like stuff that I would think about when I was younger. And I think you just get caught up in like school and then the extracurriculars and then life. But that's all I wanted. Like when I was like 13 to record an album. I had a list of album names that I would use. Um, I have a bunch of original songs. So, I mean, if the cards are right for me, that could end up happening.
So Alex, I did the episode with him. His will probably come out before this one, but he actually pursued music full time right after high school, basically. And he said it did not go that well. But so he went back to school, and then he studied nursing and became a nurse. And he actually did it. And to this day, he holds all his certificates and all that. But a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago, he started to do gigs again. Some old bandmates or something called him, said, "Hey, can you do this gig?" He was like, "Yeah." Like one night a week or something, and then one night turned into like 2, and then 4, and then 5, to the point where he was like, he said he's falling asleep at work just because he's playing so much, and now he does it full time. And I've had multiple guests on here, right? And they all have varying opinions, and you can do what you like with your life, right? Because I talked to Jake how I ended up studying engineering for my undergrad, even my master's. I'm doing engineering. But if it wasn't engineering, I would have done music and probably studio engineering or producing, recording, stuff like that, because I like doing that as well. But I also like money. Money's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I would like to still have music in my life, maybe even build a studio, record, or have artists record, things like that, or even release some of my own stuff because I have some originals. So basically, what I'm doing is like looking at the view of engineering as a means to get to that point eventually, because I don't want to do engineering forever. I don't know. I don't want to be like 60 and working at a company. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
um, and then so then Jake says he's like, you could do that, and that's fine. There's nothing right or wrong, however anybody's path goes. But we talked about the financial part of it, how it's easier when you have the money, but it's also easier if you were to have dedicated your life to music before, because of connections, because of knowing the industry, of just being around it. And so there's so many avenues, so many ways to get where you want to be. But I mean, things like Alex, tried it, didn't work, did something else that worked, and now he's back to doing it again. Like there's always time, right, to get to where is it that you want to be. And you still have some time to figure it out. You're about to start college
Yeah.
all on your own, away from your parents. And you don't have like older siblings or something?
I'm the oldest in my family. I have I always say little brother, and then people get mad at me because he's actually like 14. um, and he's taller than me. But he's my little baby brother to me. But he's a freshman in high school. He's dipped his feet in music, a little more hip hop and rap. But my brother and I were both creative, and when we were younger, and still a little bit now, like we'll bounce ideas off of each other. He's a bit more into drawing and like a bit more into movies. But I remember when I was little, I talked to him about my ideas for album covers and music videos. And he'd talk about like the movies he planned and TV shows and cartoons. So, I mean, I guess I'm afraid to like make a solid plan because I mean, things happen, opportunities come up. So, I have like a general kind of idea of where my life is going to go. And hopefully I like stay in it somewhere.
And life takes you everywhere. I went to Texas State, right, and I played with the Texas State Mariachi, and we did a West Coast tour my freshman year.
Oh wow.
We went to Vegas, to California, LA, all the way to San Francisco. And man, it sucked. Touring as a musician, it sucks. Like, you're so tired. You do a show, and then a couple hours, you got to get on the bus, drive to the next city, and maybe go to a hotel, or if not, go straight to another show. And it's a life that you eventually have to accept or get used to. So it's difficult, but I mean it's fun because you're doing right what you want to do,
Yeah.
which is music and performing, and other people are there to see you, and it feels nice. It feels good, but it's a lot of work. And I played in a mariachi in Austin for all my time there, for a lot of years, and I that's how I paid for myself, for school, for everything for mariachi, because you can make a lot of money,
Mhm.
especially in Austin. There's a lot more money. There's less groups, so it means more work. Towards the end, before I left, I was making 75 the hour,
Oh wow.
and somewhere to 10 to 15 hours a week. So it was very good money. But I was so exhausted because school all week, gigs are at nights and weekends,
Mhm.
so it's 7 days a week. It's a grind to be in the music industry,
Yeah.
and for some people that's worth it, or that's they love it, they want to do it, and they wouldn't do anything else ever. And I know people that play mariachi to this day that are well above 50, 60 years old, and they still do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do I do not want to be 60 and playing mariachi, but I don't want to be 60 being an engineer. I don't want to do I just want to retire already. But when you go, right, because you're going to start school soon, it's good to have an open mind, right, and still figure out what you want to do. Um, and you can try other things. You can take other classes and stuff, but I guess the most important thing is to not have the debt accumulate.
Oh yeah.
It took me 6 years to graduate, but that's also because engineering is a longer degree.
Yeah.
It's 135 hours
Yeah.
to compare to most degrees that are 120. And then the math minor was another 18. So it should have taken me like 5, took me 6. But I mean, I assume your grades are better than mine. I was not an NHS. I was like 116 or something ranked in
Oh.
my school. So I mean, scholarships and grants and stuff.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't have to, money's not an issue. You do what you have to, do, what you want to do to figure out, because you have time, right? You have everything, and you can do so many things. What do you plan to do until then?
Um, I'll probably still gig a bit. I've like talked about getting more gigs because usually I just my music school Crescendo, they usually get me like the gigs. So I've talked about venturing more on my own musically. Um, although I've always felt very naive financially because I don't have that experience yet. You know,
Yes.
my parents still pay for my meals and my stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I
I
don't.
didn't know that. Then so okay, so there's another thing that I talked to Juan about, that I made this series. I mean, this whole show, all of this is called Los Mariachi Sagas. I've made a lot of things underneath that umbrella. One of them was about the finances. Because, like I said, I was there 6 years, made a lot of money. Over my time, just playing mariachi, and not exactly full time, but pretty close to it, I made something about close to $200,000. All the money's gone. Oh, nothing left. Uh, don't do that. Somewhere around it was bad. After my first year, I was in a situation where I had about $6 in my account. This is I've been already gone for a year. Um, my dad didn't have a means to help me. Was not talking to my mom, so I was really on my own over there for a while. And this was like a Tuesday. I had to choose to get gas or something to eat because I was not going to get money again until the earliest Thursday. The next time I was going to play. After that, I said, I don't have to be in this situation. I'm smarter than that, right? Started budgeting, started making better decisions. And ever since then, I haven't been in that situation. But it took to getting to that point. And there was nobody to teach me about finances. And it's so easy when you're a musician to spend everything you get because it's cash and it just comes. And then you're like, oh, next week I already have a gig booked, so I'm going to get more money.
Yeah.
And in Mariachi, getting $1,000 a week, being like, oh, I gotta get this. I spent $1,000. I'm just going to get it next week. And you are. And I did. And then I'll do it again. Right? So it was just gone. And so I made the series about the finances and budgeting. And there's a lot of mariachi directors that reached out to me if they could share it with their students. Because now there's 14 to 18-year-olds, mainly San Antonio, that are doing gigs. Even they make like $300 a week or something. And that's a lot of money for a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah. I'd love to make that.
Right. So, but being smart with it, knowing that it won't always be there, or it can come, it can leave as easily as you got it. Yeah. Right. And then especially when 2020 hit, there was no gigs. Yeah. There was no music. There's nothing for months. Coincidentally, I had moved back home, so it wasn't as big of an issue for that semester. But yeah, that's one thing that I now try to help other people not make the mistakes that I did with money. You can make a lot of it and then be very smart with it. I bought a lot of instruments. They paid for themselves, and they did. But did I need 4 guitarrones? Nah. Did I need 6 vihuelas? No. Did I need 4 guitars? No. I didn't need all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I could afford it, and I did, and I bought it, and I was still able to pay for everything else. It's just I didn't need to buy it. Yeah. So don't do what I did. Do you want to sing another song?
Sure.
What do you want to do? What do you do?
Rather Be Blind by Etta James.
Okay. You don't need lyrics?
No.
Nah, you don't need lyrics. She did a whole show with no lyrics. Whole 11 weeks. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Alyssa. Go. Is that your stage name? Do you have a stage name?
No, yeah, just my name, Alyssa. Alyssa.
Most people have come on here with their stage name that have it. Alex is Alex the guitarist. So is that what you're going to stick with as your artistic names?
I think so.
That's it. Okay. We're here with Alyssa. All right, you got it? You can go ahead.
Something told me it was over when I saw you and her talking, yeah. Something deep down in my soul said, cry, girl. When I saw see you walk away from me. Ooh. So you see, I love you so much that I don't wanna watch you leave me, baby. Most of all, I just don't wanna be free. Ooh, I was just in here thinking of your kiss and your warm embrace. When the reflection that I held up to my lips now, baby, revealed the tears that were on my face. Ooh, I would rather go blind, boy, than to see you walk away from me. Ooh, baby, I would rather go blind. Oh, I would rather go blind.
The crowd really likes you. That was Alyssa. You can hear her every morning at 94.5, 9 a.m.
Ew, that's a bit early.
Oh, you should be on radio.
Oh, I'd always thought about that. I'd been really interested in like film, television, radio, like kind of like broadcasting, I guess, stuff.
You want to be an actor?
If the music takes me there. Like Beyonce.
Or like Reba?
Yeah.
So did you have a good time on the show?
Is amazing. I can't imagine my life without it now.
I know. I'm such a great host now. You still keep up with the people on the show?
A few people.
You and Andre are best friends now?
We talk more. She's a brilliant dancer. She was in our school play.
Oh yeah, she was talking about that.
She did amazing. I love watching her dance. I wish I could dance.
That's not your thing.
It's not. I mean, I did ballet when I was like 6. No, I chose music, like singing it, making it.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say, people to know?
Follow me on Instagram.
Build up your followers here.
Yeah.
You already have like 1 million followers. You need one more.
No, this is really nice.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was great having you on the show. You every week, right? You threw something different, something good, and the judges saw that. Everybody saw that. You made it to the finals, and I mean, you deserve to be there. You got to believe in yourself a little bit more.
Thank you.
You've worked hard, right, to be where you're at, and you still have a long way to go. So we'll see where you are in a few years and touring the U.S. or something.
Thank you.
You good? Everything good?
Yeah.
Nothing more? You don't plug anything?
No. Okay.
All right. Well, this has been Los Mariachi Sagas with Alyssa for the RGV Got Talent, 4th place overall. Let's do this. Let's see. Crowd just loves you. All right, then I guess we'll see you all next time. Bye. Play this.
Mariachi Saga. Los Mariachi Saga. Los Mariachi Saga. Los Mariachi Saga. Who lives in the Panama Sea? Los Mariachi Saga. Los Mariachi Saga.